Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
With the launch of the invasion plan, the troops of Sakura Kingdom began to gather quietly, looking loose on the outside and tight on the inside, ready to go. Technological warships and technological fighter planes were also mobilized either openly or covertly, and it was announced that an overseas rehearsal was about to take place. Ha ha ha, it's finally about to begin. After so long, the invasion plan has finally entered the final stage. My Fukada family is impatient to wait. The land in the south of the Donghua Empire has been coveted by my Inoue family for a long time. This time, my Inoue family will divide it into 10 major cities and enslave those damn Donghua people. I, the Ueno family, want those ancient capitals of Donghua's empire to use them as the inheritance of my Ueno family. When the time comes, all the Donghua men will be killed, and the remaining Donghua women will be given birth to by my Ueno family. Descendants. The women from the Donghua Empire's royal family seem to be pretty good. The Sakura country clans that received the news of the launch of the invasion plan were like a group of jackals who saw food and started celebrating before the carnival. It was as if the Donghua Empire, which stood at the top of the world, was about to become their meal. However, at this moment, they did not realize that perhaps what was placed in front of them was not the so-called Taotai feast, but a bottomless mouth of the abyss. Extraterritorial place. In the depths of this terrifying restricted area that does not belong to the human empire, a large number of ferocious beasts and alien groups are gathering at the moment. The strange thing is that those ferocious beasts and alien races that are so bloodthirsty and crazy that they are unwilling to let go of their own kind actually gathered together very obediently, without huge turmoil or fighting. You must know that among them, there are many different ethnic groups with different appearances. They are opposed to each other and are natural enemies of each other. They will fight each other as soon as they meet. The only thing that can cause the current situation is the intervention of a higher-level terrorist existence. Only the pressure of a superior can make these crazy monsters surrender obediently. Click. There was a sound of tearing flesh and blood. A monster as huge as a giant mountain, dark and damp all over, exuding a strange stench, without a face, only with its mouth closed and open, was slowly eating. Its mouth parts opened, revealing layers of sharp, sticky fangs, and huge tentacles entangled the prey into its mouth parts, grinding and devouring it. If anyone is familiar with this place, they will be shocked to find that the giant monster in front of them is actually the Abyss Devouring, one of the two rank 8 most powerful beasts that invaded the border front 100 years ago and caused the fall of the northern border of the empire. But 100 years ago, the northern border of the empire fell. At the cost of burning the emperor's soul and using his life as a guide, the ancestor of the Chen family forcibly killed the rank 8 most powerful beast, Titanaconda, and chopped off the body of the devourer of the abyss. Go to most of it and hit it hard. After this battle, the whole world was shocked. Two terrifying beasts comparable to the strongest in the human race were actually killed and maimed in the hands of the ancestor of the Chen family. Even though it was at the cost of his life, the terrifying combat power unleashed by the ancestor of the Chen family was still a bit frightening. After that battle, no foreign ferocious beast dared to invade the entire border front for almost a century. Everyone, those dwarfs in the Sakura Kingdom, have succeeded. The Donghua Empire is in a state of civil strife. Most of the troops stationed on the border front have been taken away by that old madman Chen Shana. The entire northern border is almost empty. It is time to take action. According to the agreement, you can take back your previously invaded homeland and divide the land, population, secret realm, and other resources of the provinces north of the Donghua Empire. The devourer of the abyss stopped eating, looked at the partners in front of him with its faceless and ferocious mouth parts, and uttered the forbidden words of the abyss. At this moment, in front of it were 7 terrifying beasts and powerful aliens who had reached rank 8. They are Lava Troll, Lone Monster Cicada, Blood Moon Monster Emperor, Bloody Ox-Headed King, Silver Moon Wolf King, Netherworld Monster, Furious Lion Emperor. These rank 8 ferocious beast aliens have either had their territory invaded by the Donghua Empire before, or have a blood feud with the Donghua Empire, or doing it for profit. Among them, the Silver Moon Wolf King was the father of the Silver Moon Prince that Chen Beiyuan killed in the Void Secret Realm before. In order to bring them all together, Abyss Devourer spent a lot of effort. Everyone, I don't need anything else. I just want you to help me kill all the Chen family members. When the Chen family was mentioned, the Devourer of the Abyss showed a trace of extreme hatred that could be seen in his bones. At that time, almost half of its body was chopped off by the ancestor of the Chen family. If it hadn't escaped quickly, it might have been taken away together. How dare it forget such a deep hatred? For nearly 100 years, it has been looking for opportunities to take revenge. Although the ancestor of the Chen family has died, the Chen family is still alive and well. It dreams of killing them all. However, the next master of the border front, Chen Shanha, is extremely powerful. It is said that his real strength is no less than that of the Chen family ancestor who fell before. Even it is extremely fearful and unwilling to take risks on its own. It has been planning opportunities and roped in other allies. Now, the opportunity has finally come. The remaining rank 8 ferocious beasts and alien warriors looked at the Abyss Devourer with overwhelming hatred in front of them. All looked at each other and nodded heavily. As it should be. Boom. With the invasion of the Beast Tide and the alien army, the previously captured territory of hundreds of miles was returned to its original owner in an instant. Countless newly built city walls seemed to have been overthrown and broken and turned into ruins. All human race buildings were knocked over. Even Marshal Chen's temporary camp was trampled into ruins by the iron hoofs of the aliens. From beginning to end, they never encountered the slightest ambush or resistance. This will undoubtedly make the powerful rank 8 ferocious beast aliens such as the Abyss Devourer, hidden in the Beast Tide, extremely happy. You know, the manpower and material resources spent on those city wall fronts were an astronomical figure even for the Donghua Empire. Nowadays, it is so easily destroyed. It seems that the millions of troops stationed on the border front have really withdrawn. That old madman Chen Shanha did indeed leave. To be honest, among the 8 powerful beasts and aliens headed by Abyss Devourer, the one they fear the most is this old madman. After all, the ancestor of the Chen family gave all the top powers a big surprise back then. And Chen Shanha's strength is not inferior to that of his ancestor. No one wants to test whether their head is tough enough. Ha ha ha, they really withdrew. If so, then they will break the entire northern city and attack their imperial capital directly. In an instant, the kings of the 8 terrifying beasts and alien races all fixed their gazes on the empty, northern city in front of them, as if they had already seen the fertile land. As long as we can break the northern city in front of us, which has not been broken for 100 years, we can enter the interior of the northern territory and directly attack the hinterland of the Donghua Empire. My sons, please give me your majesty's help and break the great wall in front of you. Rumble. Accompanied by the impact of the Beast Tide for nearly half an hour. The northern city, which was said to be indestructible in the north, was finally broken. Countless ferocious beasts and alien races poured in one after another and began to wreak havoc and unleash their beastly desires. Even the Abyss Devourer and other 8 powerful alien beasts could not help but step into this restricted area known as the alien beasts. However, they who were in ecstasy at this moment did not realize that just when they invaded Northern City, an army of heavily armored troops appeared quietly outside the city. On the city wall, a figure of a strong man from the Daoist tribe was looking playfully at the ferocious beasts and aliens below who were smashing the empty city wantonly. Among these people, the leader is none other than Mr. Chen Shanha. Behind him were the figures of the ancestors of the top families who should have returned to the imperial capital long ago. Except for the royal family Jiang. Most of the top experts in the entire Donghua Empire gathered here. Those who have not read books such as The Abyss Devourer and other ferocious alien races may have never heard of the principle of beating the dog behind closed doors. But it's okay, they will understand after a while. It seems like these are the only idiots left, but it's barely enough. I want the Abyss Devourer and Blood Moon Monster Emperor, old man. This game was set up by my grandson. He suffered so much. As an elder, I should prepare a trophy for him. Chen Shana's eyes seemed to contain terrifying and demonic intent. He looked straight at the eight-headed alien beast king wreaking havoc below. He showed unparalleled majesty and domineering. When he opened his mouth, he directly regarded the two rank 8 beasts as what's in the bag. Ha ha, Brother Chen is lucky. I knew that boy from Beiyuan was not a creature in the pool. But now it seems that he is really extraordinary. He actually set up a trap and got everyone involved. In this case, the Bai family wants the solitary demon cicada, and it happens that the family's secret realm still lacks a guard. The old man of the Bai family had a kind face and spoke with a smile, but his eyes were fixed on the shadow-like, great monster cicada below. The properties of that ghost monster are quite close to those of the techniques I cultivate. It seems that its flesh and blood should be good. The Lin family, want it. The old man of the Lin family, who had a skinny face, a hooked nose, green eyes, and exuded strong monster chi, spoke in a hoarse voice. Ahem, cough, cough. I've been feeling cold recently. That Silver Moon Wolf King's fur looks good. It should be excellent for keeping out the cold. My Wang family wants it. I've been suffering from coughing for the past few years. I heard that the Furious Lion Emperor's blood is effective in this area. If that's the case, then the Zhu family, won't be polite. I recently developed a new puppet, but it really lacks a core. I look at the heart of that lava troll. Whenever the ferocious alien race headed by Abyss Devourer raises its head and glances in a certain direction at this moment, it will be scared to death on the spot. Because, at this moment, a group of old monsters from the Donghua Empire were staring at their bodies expressionlessly, discussing their respective belongings. In their mouths, the 8 rank 8 ferocious alien beasts below were disassembled into countless parts almost instantly and were distributed cleanly, without even the slightest waste of blood. As the saying goes, if there is no benefit, you can't afford to be early. It is not an easy task to bring a group of old monsters together and to coordinate the acting. If there are no corresponding benefits, who will blame you? For the ancestors of these aristocratic families, as long as the interests are in place, anything can be discussed. The Chen family and the Lin family still have a feud. Don't you think Mr. Lin is here too? The other ancestors of the aristocratic families didn't have any objections to Chen Shanha's decision to take the big head or a quarter. After all, this game was originally planned by Chen Jiabu. In addition, in terms of strength alone, Chen Shanha, who is the strongest of the human race, is also qualified for this. As for this, why don't you invite the royal family Jiang to play with you this time? Are you crazy? The cake is so big, and the Chun family's quarter, with the royal family and the Jiang family's death, there is a high probability that the lion's mouth will be opened, and it will also cost a quarter. When the time comes, everyone can just sit here and drink soup, right? If the Chun family takes a quarter, the big guys may still admit it. After all, they have laid out the plan and invited the big guys to come over and kill the pigs and divide the meat. In contrast, a certain empire boss who does nothing but likes to make big pie and grab the big picture is somewhat hated by others. When working, no one is always visible. When putting things away, he is the one who shouts the loudest. Therefore, all the ancestors of the aristocratic families present subconsciously ignored a certain empire boss. After all, he is the big brother, and everyone respects him. For such small things and rough work, the big guy tries not to trouble his old man. Mr. Chun was extremely calm about the massive destruction below, and even intended to let them destroy it slowly. Anyway, if everything is broken, then it will be left to the public account, and the empire will pay to renovate it. Do it. At this moment, Mr. Chun was leading a group of old monsters to surround and kill the Abyss Devourer and other alien beast kings. The grandson Chen Beiyuan, he said, was actually learning foreign languages from a certain weapon spirit in the Void Temple. I have to say that the Void Artifact Spirit is also awesome. After the previous master of the Void Temple died, he lived alone in the Void Temple. In order to pass the time, she also taught herself the languages of various alien beasts, and was even proficient in the languages of various countries in the human race. This undoubtedly benefited Chen Beiyuan a lot. Foreign languages need to be learned and kept in line with international standards. Oh yeah, mean. Oh yeah, mean. The next day, A piece of urgent military information suddenly came out from the border front. It was quickly sent to the imperial palace and reported to the hands of His Majesty the Emperor. The alien ferocious beast king, headed by the Devourer of the Abyss, led the beast tide and alien cavalry to attack the border front and invaded the northern city with overwhelming momentum. Fortunately, Marshal Chen had a clear understanding of justice, guessed their sinister intentions in advance, and made plans in advance. The so-called withdrawal of troops back to Beijing was nothing more than a so-called cover-up. In the end, the 8-headed rank 8 ferocious beast aliens were killed. Some had their hearts ripped out, some were skinned, some had their blood drawn, and some were captured alive. The rest of the invading beast tides and alien armies were wiped out by a million-strong army, and with the help of this east wind, they expanded another 800 miles. There is no doubt that this is a great achievement. However, His Majesty the Emperor, who was sitting on the dragon throne, showed no joy at all. The coldness on his face became more and more intense, almost turning into ice. Well, all those top aristocratic families are acting, right? He and the royal family Jiang are the only ones who are kept in the dark, right? It was said to be a cover-up, but the previous commotion and the battle between the strongest human race players outside the imperial capital didn't look fake. At that time, Mr. Chen was just like La Jun. It almost destroyed the palace. Nowadays, everyone is so full of food that they are willing to write a note to say something. Did you say that you were acting before? What's even more annoying is that in addition to the good news, there is also an embarrassment form. Because Northern City was destroyed by ferocious alien beasts, the losses were extremely serious. The sergeants had no place to rest, and the empire needed to allocate funds for repairs. In addition, there are various miscellaneous expense lists. Obviously, what Mr. Chen means is very clear. These are all going to the public account, and they have to be paid as soon as possible. Otherwise, the millions of troops stationed at the border would really have no place to live and would really have to go back to Beijing. It might have been an act last time, but this time it might be real. It's reversed. It's reversed. When I saw this good news urgently sent from the front line, even His Majesty, the most noble emperor of the Donghua Empire, was almost out of breath. As a king, he doesn't know anything, so the people below him have to unite to help him. He finally understood that Chen Beiyuan was ambushed. The head of the Chen family besieged the city in anger, and Marshal Chen withdrew his troops back to the capital in anger. It was all a lie. I'm afraid that little b*** D Chen Beiyuan is hiding in some gentle place and just waiting for the matter to be over before sneaking out. Such a meticulous layout does not look like the work of Marshal Chen and Chen Jiqing at first glance. I'm afraid all the things are related to Chen Beiyuan. What a Chen family Chilener, what a Chen Beiyuan. This plan involved almost everyone, and at the same time blocked the Jiang family from outside. It's really a good idea. Not to mention the terrifying value contained in the corpses of the 8-headed rank 8 ferocious beast alien king, the beast tide, and the alien army. They are strategic materials that can be used to build 8-grade magic weapons. Let's just say that the newly conquered area spanned 800 miles, which was comparable to several imperial provinces. Every family almost divided it completely with a tacit understanding, and even the soup was not given to the Jiang family. When the meat was divided and eaten, no one reported it. Nowadays, when they have to reach out for money, everyone thinks of him as the emperor. This victory report not only has the signature of Marshal Chen, but also the joint signatures of the ancestors of various families. Those old guys took advantage of the Chen family, and when they signed, they were called majestic, and they were called dragons and phoenixes. Even the name signed by the old man of the Lin family, who has always been at odds with the Chun family of Donghua, is behind Chen Shanha, almost a piece of paper. Normally, there is no such unity, and sometimes there is fierce internal strife. It's better now. It's like glue and paint, just like the honeymoon period. One by one, let's put this P***** SY aside, right? Good, good, good. As expected of a loyal minister of the empire. Even though the city is deep and the magnanimity is extraordinary, His Majesty the Emperor is still a human being, and the 3 corpse gods jumped out of anger. Loan money. just when the emperor of the Donghua Empire was angry to death by a group of old monsters. The battle on the border front was also spread through some channels. A rank 8 most powerful beast, the devourer of the abyss, that is comparable to the strongest of the human race. There were also 7 terrifying beasts and alien kings with average strength of rank 8 middle level who died at the same time. At the same time, millions of alien ferocious beasts were either killed, turned into mounts, or turned into breeding beasts. The impact of this is no small thing. You know, such a terrifying camp can almost form a top force. Nowadays, their collective demise will inevitably lead to signs of weakening of the overall strength of the ferocious alien race. Moreover, with their fall, the kingdom group behind them will undoubtedly suffer a devastating blow. The impact of this battle was no less profound than when the ferocious alien race destroyed the Mayan kingdom, the top kingdom of the human race, overnight. While greatly boosting the morale of the human race, it also directly suppressed the arrogance of the ferocious alien race. As the saying goes, some people are happy and some are sad. The Sakura people who had been dreaming of annexing Donghua before learned the result of this battle and instantly became dizzy like a jackal that had been beaten hard. How could this happen? How could this happen? Not only did the Donghua Empire not suffer heavy losses, there was no civil strife at all. On the contrary, it became stronger and stronger. Baga, didn't the Edo family say that they should prepare to send troops to invade the weak Donghua Empire? But where is the Donghua Empire weak? Damn it, don't the Donghua people know our plan a long time ago? Damn Edo Rukushi, this cynic killed everyone. No, the Edo family must give an explanation. As the news came, the major families in the Sakura kingdom, who were full of ambition before, instantly trembled with fear and fell into inexplicable panic and fear. At this moment, the faces of these big figures in Sakura country were extremely ugly, as if their whole family had died. No matter how arrogant and domineering they were before, they still couldn't hide their deep-seated fear of the behemoth Donghua Empire. It's like a son who is afraid of his father. If dad gets old and his strength is not as good as before, the son of Sakura country will probably become a traitor every minute, trying to overcome his superiors with old fists. But now the father of Donghua Empire is at his peak, and I am afraid he can easily beat the shit out of this rebellious son of Sakura Kingdom. The Edo family. How could this happen? What link went wrong? The old man's plan should have been flawless. Who on earth broke Lao Chao's plan and set up this counterintuitive plan? Is it Chen Beiyuan? The old man was defeated by a junior. At this moment, Edo Ryu no longer looked like he was holding the Zhijuan in his hands before. His whole person seemed to be several dozen years older, and his skinny body could not conceal the decaying aura of twilight. As proud as he was, he thought he could once again recreate the glory of 100 years ago and severely damage the Donghua Empire. But now, he made a wrong step and fell towards the abyss. The Jingu family. The old dog Edo Ryu's game was broken by the Donghua Chen family. The invasion plan had been leaked for a long time. The Edo family is finished. The divine palace heavenly sovereign is currently in inexplicable fear and ecstasy. It was like being hit by a pie falling from the sky. At this moment, the mountain that was pressing down on the Jingu family finally had a chance to be moved. Although it certainly contains endless dangers, there are also opportunities. Fortunately, the Shungong family had previously established an online relationship with the Donghua Chen family, so it would be able to be saved. Come here, inform Queen Huwu to make preparations in the next few days. The future of the Jingu family depends on her. Qin Jun just faked his death? The alluring face of the fire dance queen suddenly glowed with brilliance. She was surprised and happy, and seemed a little unbelievable. Yoshi, I know, Qin Jun will not die so easily. This time, the glory of the restoration of Sakura Kingdom will definitely belong to Fengyuan of my shrine. When Fengyuan Jingu heard the good news, he almost went crazy and burst into laughter. He said to the astonished fiancée in front of him, "Sakurako, for my heavenly sovereign dream, I'll leave it to you." Master, it's successful. Jingu Yukino's face turned crimson and greedy, and she looked straight in the direction of the east, like a dog looking forward to the arrival of its master. Just when the situation was almost clear, a hidden void fluctuation suddenly appeared in the Lin family manor in the Magic City. There was a blood dragon mark between his eyebrows, and a tall figure in black clothes suddenly appeared out of thin air. It's Chen Beiyuan. Prepare to send troops to Sakura. It's been a short time since we last met, but the progress of the Void Spirit is amazing. Compared to the previous one that couldn't even last an hour, now it has the peerless style of the original book that can fight for 10 days and 10 nights, making the sky dark and the earth dark, and destroying the Great Tao. Even if I used 70% of my strength, I couldn't completely take it down. That's right, her original body, Void Temple, the spirit of the 9th grade magic weapon, has the strongest physical strength among all the women. Before, she just had never seen the world, and she was like a weak rookie because of her previous owner who was only good at talking. A few months ago, she changed to a new owner like me, and she was reborn. Chen Beiyuan burped sweetly, rubbed his stomach that was a little full, and his face was full of strange feelings. At this moment, he exuded a fresh scent, and the whole person was like taking a milk bath. It must be said that this trip to the Void Temple was really extraordinary and gave him a great novel experience. I don't know how the Void Spirit Phoenix concubine did it, but she was able to do such a trick, which made him really experience the joy of a child. Even the silly little dragon Anu benefited a lot and got a share of it. If it weren't for the urgent matter next, he would have wanted to stay in the Void Temple for a few more days. They could have a good exchange with each other. During this time in the Void Temple, the Phoenix concubine also used Void Divine Power to help him refine the 5 quasi-emperor blood essences and soul fragments in his body, helped his normal physical body to truly reach the peak of the 7th grade divine weapon. Once Blood Dragon transformation was used, the shackles could be forcibly broken and reach the initial stage of the 8th grade divine weapon. With this foundation, even if he encountered the attack of those 8th grade war emperors who had just broken through, Chen Beiyuan was sure to fight without using his trump card. In contrast, his soul strength also showed signs of reaching the peak of the quasi-emperor. Only his cultivation is still at the peak of the war king, and he only needs to construct his own divine ability to break through to the 7th grade war emperor. At that time, with his accumulated strength after the breakthrough, he may be able to break through several realms in a row, or even reach the peak. Now I seem to be just a war king, but it is not an exaggeration to say that my real strength is the first person under the war emperor. If I use those trump cards, I can also fight against the 8th grade war emperor. Now I have already stepped half a foot into the sequence of top powerhouses. Chen Beiyuan estimated his various means and gave a more realistic positioning of his own combat power. Now he can be said to be far superior to his peers in the true sense, keeping pace with the older generation and gradually catching up with the pace of some old monsters. Suddenly, Chen Beiyuan seemed to remember something and sighed. I owe you a big favor this time. Originally, with his cultivation speed, it would take some time to completely refine the blood essence and soul fragments of the 5 quasi-emperors. The help of the Phoenix concubine undoubtedly helped him a lot. Although the Phoenix concubine did not say anything, Chen Beiyuan knew in his heart that the remaining divine power of the Void Temple was probably not much. If the energy could not be replenished as soon as possible, I am afraid that the Void Temple would fall into eternal sleep due to the loss of energy. Even the Phoenix concubine, who was the spirit of the temple, would be implicated. But even so, she still did it. The most difficult thing in the world is the favor of a beautiful woman. I must break through the 8th grade war emperor as soon as possible, complete the test of the Void Temple, and truly inherit this 9th grade divine weapon. After making up his mind in his heart, he strode into the manor, ready to see Lin Yunluo's situation first. He was a little too much before. After Leng Ruobing's initial care, coupled with some positive energy nourishment, Lin Yunluo also woke up. His face and complexion changed a lot, and even his physique was strengthened a lot. Her whole person seemed to have been reborn, becoming even more beautiful and charming. After seeing that the person was fine, Chen Beiyuan also had a look of apology on his face. Yunluo, I'm sorry. It's okay. You are still young after all. It's normal to be a little reckless. Lin Yunluo leaned on the bedside and looked at the boy in front of her. There was maternal tenderness, a hint of feminine shyness, and a little fear on her face. She finally understood Bai Ruowei's mood. She almost thought she was going to die. Fortunately, that's just an illusion. Soon, under Chen Beiyuan's coquettishness, the trace of fear on Lin Yunluo's face was instantly forgotten, and she hugged her into her arms to comfort her with overwhelming maternal instinct. Leng Ruobing on the side looked at the gentle two people in front of him. The smile on his face gradually disappeared, like a resentful woman in the boudoir staring at some B****************. A man's mouth is a liar. After being gentle for a while, Chen Beiyuan took the initiative to leave the room, letting Lin Yunluo continue to have a good rest. But when he walked out of the gate of the manor, he saw a familiar figure waiting for him. They were a middle-aged handsome guy and an elderly handsome guy. Father, great elder. Chen Beiyuan looked at the two elders in front of him. A friendly and sincere smile appeared on his face, and he stepped forward to say hello. During this time, I'll have to trouble the two elders more. Ha ha ha, you kid, don't be polite in front of us. If you hadn't sent me 100 longevity fruits before, I would still have to stay in the imperial capital now, and it would be difficult for me to even travel far away. The eldest elder of the Chen family, who had regained his second youthful appearance and turned into a handsome old man, laughed loudly. At this moment, he no longer looked as old as before. His whole person exuded vitality and had a bit more domineering pressure of a strong man. For a dying person, suddenly having a lifespan of nearly 100 years is undoubtedly a great blessing. Chen Beiyuan could roughly understand the great elder's mood at this moment. Okay, let's talk about the next thing between you and your son. I'm not here to hinder you. It's time to finish some finishing work in the Magic City. After saying that, the great elder took the initiative to leave, leaning on a dragon-headed crutch. In an instant, only Chen Beiyuan and his son were left at the scene. Chen Beiyuan could tell at a glance that the father Chen Zhiqing in front of him was not his real body, but a clone. Beiyuan, you did a good job. Chen Zhiqing looked at his son in front of him with a look of relief. Facing his father's heartfelt praise, the smile on Chen Beiyuan's face became a little brighter. Father, congratulations to you. Next, we will naturally take the lead in launching troops against Sakura country. When the time comes, you will definitely be the one to take the lead. Generally speaking, Father Chen stretched out his hand and interrupted Chen Beiyuan's next words. The expression on his face instantly became serious, and he spoke seriously. No, you are behind the scenes for this plan. As a father, you are not ready to take advantage of your son's achievements. You will be the commander-in-chief of the Empire's troops sent to Sakura country this time. Beiyuan, commander-in-chief of the Empire. You come. Chen Beiyuan's face was a little stunned, and he was obviously a little surprised by Chen's father's decision. Originally, according to his idea, the commander-in-chief of the empire who mobilized troops against Sakura country this time was probably his father. As the leader of the imperial military and the commander-in-chief of the Third War Zone, Chen's father was definitely qualified to lead troops to the Sakura country, and even gave the Sakura country a place in the queue. In terms of military affairs, Chen's father was also one of the first in the empire and had rich experience in leading troops. I'm afraid it's more than enough to conquer a cherry blossom country. And, to put it bluntly, as long as it involves military matters, as long as the Chun family doesn't take the lead, no one can do it. Even the Lin family is not easy to use. The biggest gunman in the empire is named Chun, and all foreign wars must be decided by the Chun family. What I don't want to do, no one else can do. The status of the Chun family destined that this war must be led by the Chun family. Anyone with a foreign surname who wants to gain power will have his head chopped off. But now, Chen's father rejected his proposal. I want him to personally lead the troops to conquer Sakura country and become the commander-in-chief of the empire. But I haven't had any large-scale actual combat experience in leading troops, and my age and qualifications are a bit. Chen Beiyuan knew that Father Chun was paving the way for him to further gain access to the core rights of the Chun family in Donghua. And at the same time, he was building momentum for him. Once the Sakura country can be conquered, the leader will probably gain a lot of prestige. At the same time, he will determine the division of this cake and win the friendship of all parties. This is almost a tax bill. It is also the inheritance of power. It is undeniable that Chen Beiyuan is indeed a little tempted. As the man behind this layout, he didn't want to take the stage. But before, he considered various reasons and concerns before thinking about Father Chen stepping forward. After all, he had never led troops on a large scale. At most, he would ride on horseback alone in the border pastures when he was a child, massacring small and medium-sized foreign tribes. At the same time, his age and qualifications may also be a problem. This time the troops are sent to Sakura country. The number of soldiers mobilized must be hundreds of thousands, or even millions, and people from major families will also participate. Are those people willing to let an 18-year-old sit on their head and do whatever they want? I'm afraid some old guys who like to rank based on seniority will start chirping again. The ancient champion prince was only 18 when he laid waste to the Xiongnu Empire and sealed the wolf as Su. Before that, had he ever had the opportunity to lead an army? The champion Ho Shiba can level the grassland and sweep across the Xiongnu Empire. Why can't you Chen Beiyuan go out to conquer the cherry blossoms and march eastwards? In the final analysis, it's just an island country on the side. Just treat it as an opportunity for you to try. No matter what you do, my father will support you. The commander is in charge of the three armies. He is in charge of the generals, not the soldiers. The soldiers below have their own generals to take care of them. In addition, I will arrange for the great elder to assist you and help you become proficient in military affairs. Beiyuan, you have to remember that you are the young master of the Chen family, the future head of the Chen family, and the leader of the imperial military. If you lead the troops, whoever in the army dares to have an objection can just pull them out to sacrifice the flag. Whoever dares to show off to you, those old guys from each family, will swell their old faces for your father's sake. Kick them out and let them die. Father Chen's eyes revealed a fierce look, and the gentleness on his face disappeared instantly. His words were full of cold and bone-crushing murderous intent, and his domineering expression was revealed. If you ask them to share the meat and dare to complain, then let's replace it with other people who want to eat the meat. Don't be afraid of offending people. Be afraid that they are afraid of offending you. His son was the mastermind behind this arrangement. As a father, he was not shameless enough to take it completely as his own. In this case, let Beiyuan step onto the stage and get the honor that should belong to him. At the same time, the power in his hands was also handed over to Beiyuan's hands bit by bit. Since ancient times, the word power has caused countless big figures to lose themselves, to the point where father and son are at war with each other, completely falling out. Among those top aristocratic families, there are not a few who are greedy for power and unwilling to break up. Even the emperor of the Donghua Empire clings to power and has no intention of delegating power to the Prince Jiang Yunfan. In contrast, the alternation of power within the Chen family is extremely harmonious. I understand, father. Chen Beiyuan nodded heavily. Chen's father has already talked about this. If he shirks it again, then he will no longer be the son of the Chen family. Some things belong to him, and it's time to get in touch with them in advance. Moreover, this trip to Sakura country as the head coach will also be beneficial to his subsequent arrangements. Solve your matters in the Magic City as soon as possible. It's best to return to the imperial capital tonight. By then, my father will have a showdown with each family and personally push you to the top. Father Chen looked at his high-spirited son in front of him. His face was filled with relief and emotion. Among the three generations of the Chen family, there is an old man who can conquer the mountains and rivers with his fists, sweep away all dissatisfaction, and turn the tide in the Chen family's critical moments. He has a son, Chen Beiyuan, who is extremely talented, a young king, high-spirited, and has unlimited potential. He can build a 1,000-year legacy for the future of the Chen family. In comparison, he, the head of the Chen family, was the most mediocre, inferior to his father and inferior to his son. In this case, he did what a father and a family head should do. If there is anything going on here in the Demon City, you should go and deal with it first. My father's body will go to the Imperial Palace in a moment to meet with that person alone. Father Chen's face suddenly turned serious and he spoke slowly. Why did father go to the palace? Chen Beiyuan was stunned and seemed a little confused. If it was about sending troops to Sakura country, shouldn't the father and son go to the palace together after he returned to the imperial capital? When the time comes, will we have a showdown with everyone? Now, why would Father Chen go to the palace alone? Could it be that he had to talk secretly with the royal family first to get to the bottom of things? But this is not like Father Chen's style. When did the Chen family show such shame to the royal family? The old man pretended to mobilize troops back to Beijing and played tricks on the royal family. He almost destroyed the palace and caused such a big commotion. The incident in the Magic City has become so big again. Without the decision of the upper echelons of the empire, they deployed troops to besiege the city and kill people. The two things were superimposed on each other, and the face of the royal family was almost swollen. Now, everyone knows that your kid faked his death on purpose, and everything has to do with you. As the head of the Chen family, I naturally cannot ask the old man to come forward in person, nor can I push you to take charge of the matter. When my father went to the palace this time, he naturally went to see our emperor. Please, crime. Chen Zhiqing spoke word by word with a gentle voice and endless domineering air. It was said that he was asking for forgiveness, but when he said it in his mouth, it was more like asking for guilt. It was said to be an apology, but in reality, it was more like a slap in the face. Does His Majesty the Emperor in the Imperial Palace really dare to convict Chen's father? Haha. In the end, big things turned into small things. Seeing Father Chen's disappearing figure, Chen Beiyuan couldn't help but feel a trace of emotion on his face. This time, the royal family's face has been swollen. The old man, father, and I took turns to fight, but they didn't even save any face for the Jiang family. However, the Jiang family must be used to this kind of thing. As the eldest brother, it's normal for him to be a little angry. This kind of thing is not done by the Chen family. There have been many things that have caused embarrassment to the Jiang family when the top aristocratic families joined forces. Which of those powerful family members who are divided into one party are obedient and obedient? When it comes to interests, they all behave like jackals and tigers. If you go crazy, who cares if you are the emperor? No one in the family that has been passed down for thousands of years is kind, not even the Donghua Chen family. Before the establishment of the Donghua Empire, all demon Dao in this land respected the Chen family. Even after the founding of the People's Republic of China, the Chen family was cleansed and came to shore, but privately they were still called the Demon Dao family. Being able to be called the Demon Dao family, the character of the Chen family can naturally be imagined. It can be said that all of them are unscrupulous masters. To be honest, I really don't care about the so-called imperial power. We really need to go back to the imperial capital as soon as possible. The deployment of troops to the Sakura Kingdom involves the next layout and cannot be missed. However, some things in the imperial capital still need to be arranged. Nowadays, the demonic city has been largely wiped out. It can be said that people have been killed and rivers of blood have flowed. It is just the right time for Yun Luo to directly take over this international city. This should be considered as compensation for her. With her business talent, I am afraid that it can make the Magic City shine more dazzlingly. Presumably, the Lin family will not let go of this opportunity to get involved in the Magic City. With the joint support of the Chen family and the Lin family, even the royal family has no way to intervene. In the end, they can only compromise. Of course, although Yun Luo appears to be from the Lin family, she is actually my woman. When the time comes, everything in the Magic City will still be mine. The Chen family's army plowed the city hard, so it was naturally impossible to make wedding clothes for the royal family. Chen Beiyuan naturally had a corresponding plan in mind, and planned to give the Magic City as a gift to Yun Luo, which could indirectly ease the relationship between the two families. After all, he was also curious about the women of the Lin family. But before this time, a certain hidden danger must be solved first. If I want to leave, a certain son of fortune cannot continue to stay in the Magic City. Chen Beiyuan now knows Lin Zhao's situation very clearly. Even he knew that he had been injected with the blood and flesh of a certain Bo Gang evil god to improve his cultivation. To be honest, after being suppressed many times by him, Lin Zhao now has almost only one fairy master left. If that thing is really a fairy, Chen Beiyuan might be interested and consider multiple fairy slaves. Let the fairy help him practice every night. But the thing's body is Gang, so Master Chen doesn't have much idea. Ever since he learned that Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, was just a pawn, he no longer had the fear he had before. From the beginning to the end, Chen Beiyuan was afraid of the existence behind Lin Xiao. Otherwise, he would have killed the false son of fortune long ago. For the sake of him being relatively well-behaved during this period, don't go too far. Send him to a frontline prison camp for a while, and let him have a good reunion with his godfather. This can be considered a great act of kindness on my part. Thinking of this, Chen Beiyuan couldn't help but be moved by his kindness. Lin Xiao and Xiong Baitsong, father and son, haven't seen each other for a while, so it would be nice to let them meet. I just don't know how Xiong Baitsong would feel when he saw his proud godson enter the prison camp. You know, the reason why this old guy can survive until now is because he hopes that his godson can go to prison and rescue him. Azure Group. Lin Xiao was sitting cross-legged in the chairman's office, feeling the surge of cultivation in his body, and couldn't help but reveal a smile of surprise on his face. Sure enough, Master didn't lie to me. I have mastered all this cultivation, as if I have gained it through hard training for many years. Now I am on the same level as Chen Beiyuan. Sooner or later, I will definitely be able to surpass him. However, although his cultivation level has been greatly improved, as a price, his fairy master fell into a deep sleep again. However, it's all worth it. Master, just wait for Shower to wake you up from your deep sleep again. Just when Lin Xiao was immersed in the joy of soaring strength. Boom. The door to the office was suddenly smashed open, and several figures wearing the uniforms of members of the Imperial Bureau of Justice forced their way in. There was an army exuding a cold aura following outside the door. Lin Xiao, your case has been revealed. Someone has pointed out that you are related to the imperial case that ambushed the young master of the Qin family. Come with us. Of course, you can also consider arresting me. By then, there will be no place for you in the entire Donghua Empire. Lin Zhao's face suddenly turned pale. In the end, a certain son of fortune who was just immersed in joy was forcibly put on the shackles. It's not that Lin Xiao didn't think about resisting. But when he first had this idea, he happened to see the densely packed army outside. And the elder of the Chen family, a powerful man at the peak of quasi-emperor, was looking at him with kindness. In the end, Lin Xiao was forcibly escorted to the train station and sent to the prison camp on the frontline battlefield. He was in heaven 1 second and seemed to be in hell the next. Chen Beiyuan. Just as Chen Beiyuan expected, when Chen Zhiqing, the head of the Qin family, went to the palace to plead guilty, not only did he not receive the so-called punishment, he even received a lot of rewards as an appeasement. It can be said that the relationship between the two parties is harmonious, and they talk happily. And when Chen Zhiqing took out the investigation plan of the Magic City and said that everything was caused by the Sakura Kingdom behind the scenes, hoping to send troops to quell the rebellion, His Majesty, the Emperor of the Donghua Empire, was slightly surprised and then agreed with a smile. Snapped, snapped, snapped. However, after Chen Zhiqing left, there was the sound of smashing things one after another deep in the palace. It was not known that it was the clumsy guy who broke things. Soon, the news that the Donghua Empire was about to send troops to the Sakura Kingdom spread among the top families, causing a huge stir. Many people smelled the meat smell. At the same time, the highest decision-making meeting of the Donghua Empire is about to be held, and the heads of the top families and the chief officials of various ministries have also received invitations one after another. There is never an airtight wall in this world. Not long after Chen Zhiqing left the palace, major aristocratic families learned about the war through various channels and even knew about his conversation with the emperor. In an instant, these empire bosses swarmed in like sharks smelling blood, wanting a piece of the pie. The highest decision-making meeting room of the empire. Each convening heralds the development and implementation of a certain strategic action or national policy that has a huge impact on the empire. Those who can participate are almost all the heads of top aristocratic families who hold the original shares of the empire, as well as the spokespersons of small and medium-sized aristocratic families. It can almost be said that the top bosses of the entire Donghua Empire will gather together. In front of a huge round table, the emperor of the Donghua Empire was at the top. On the left is Chen Beiyuan, the Minister of War, the commander of the entire empire's army, and the commander-in-chief of the empire's third theater, the head of the Donghuachen family. On the right is Lin Shufeng, deputy minister of the Ministry of War, deputy commander of the entire empire's army, and commander-in-chief of the empire's fourth and fifth theaters, the head of the Donghua Lin family. In order: Wang Xuanzong, minister of the Imperial Household Department and director of the General Bureau of Investigation, head of the Donghua Wang family. Bai Yingyun, the minister of the Imperial Punishment Department and the chief president of the trial court, is the head of the Donghua Bai family. Qin Yueshan, the Imperial Minister of Civil Affairs and Director of the General Intelligence Bureau, the head of the Donghua Qin family. Imperial Minister of Industry and President of the General Academy of Science and Technology, Wei Xiaoyin of the Wei family of Donghua. Imperial Minister of Rights and the top bosses who hold important positions in the empire are at the front, taking their seats in turn. Outside the round table, there is an empire boss who holds a high position in the empire, but the power behind it is an empire boss who has no original shares in the empire. In addition to these empire bosses, there are also heirs of the top families watching on the outside, such as Bai Yuze, Bai Ruowei, Wang Daoxian, Wei Wushuang, Zhu Kuaishou. Even Jiang Yunfan, the prince of the empire, and Jiang Yunhua, the sixth highness of the empire, were among them. Originally, according to the regulations of the empire, the heirs of the top families could not appear here before inheriting the power of their fathers. However, today's situation is obviously somewhat special. The meeting begins. Chen Qing took the initiative to bring up this meeting. Let Chen Qing explain the reasons to the imperial ministers present. The emperor, who sat at the head of the round table, spoke first and set the tone. Your Majesty, before that, I would like to have someone come out to meet everyone. Chen Beiyuan looked seriously and looked at the emperor in front of him. Without looking back, he slowly said, Beiyuan, come out and meet His Majesty and all your uncles. As soon as these words came out, everyone present was startled. Immediately, in the surprised eyes of everyone, a ripple of void suddenly appeared in the corner. This sudden situation instantly attracted the attention of countless powerful auras from various families who were secretly protecting him. The next moment, I saw a young man wearing a black robe with a red mark on his eyebrows, who was handsome and smiling, slowly walked out. He seemed not to notice the gazes of countless powerful people around him and turned towards the imperial bosses in front of the round table. He saluted and said, I have met your Majesty, and I have met all your uncles. Such a strange scene suddenly made all the empire bosses present shrink their pupils. You know, even before, they were not aware of Chen Beiyuan's existence. Such a method can be described as terrifying. No wonder all forces have been searching for him before, but could not find his whereabouts. It's true that a hero comes from a young boy. There are successors to the Chen family. Emperor Donghua's eyes flashed, and his cold face seemed to be moved. Give me a seat. The royal eunuch on the side was preparing to take action. No need. Father Chen suddenly spoke, once again turning everyone's attention to him. I saw him standing up slowly and giving up his position in full view of everyone. He ignored the astonished eyes around him and slowly said, Beiyuan, you sit in the position of father. Hiss. Many people present gasped instantly, their eyes full of disbelief, as if they were frightened by this scene. I saw that Chen Beiyuan was also unceremonious and sat directly in the first row on the left closest to the emperor. He was actually on equal footing with the top bosses of the empire. As the Minister of War, the Commander-in-Chief of the entire empire's army, and the Commander-in-Chief of the empire's third theater, Chen's father stood behind him, like a towering tree shielding him from the wind and rain. The political signal and impact Chen Beiyuan's action released are not small. Is this to push Chen Beiyuan to the top? For a moment, everyone present's expressions changed slightly. Even the top prodigy at the outermost level saw that the familiar young face was on an equal footing with their fathers, and the expression on his face became very exciting. Chen Beiyuan, who was supposed to be the same age as them, and even much younger than them, was undoubtedly very dazzling, sitting in front of the round table that represented the top of the empire's power. Many of the top prodigies' faces could not help but show envy at this moment. Even Jiang Yunfan, the prince of the empire, had an extremely exciting expression at this moment. He couldn't help but clenched his fists and glanced at a certain location. Only Bai Ruowei, Jiang Yunhua, and others showed genuine excitement and joy on their faces. If his brother-in-law Bai Yuza hadn't known that he couldn't make any noise in such an occasion, he might have been unable to help shouting, "Brother-in-law, you're awesome." At this moment, even the expressions of the heads of the top families sitting around the round table became weird, as if they were a little uncomfortable. There is no way to let a young man who has just turned 18 years old and is old enough to be their son or grandson to be on an equal footing with them. No matter how good their mentality is, there will be some differences. However, what Father Chen said next was astonishing and shocked everyone. "Everyone, I think you all know that my son Beiyuan was ambushed in the Demon City. After investigation by my Chen family, it was found that the man behind the ambush was the Sakura Kingdom. A small country dares to do evil things in our Donghua Empire. It is really bold and wanton. This time, I took the initiative to convene an empire decision-making meeting, hoping to use this as an excuse to attack the Sakura Kingdom in the name of the empire. This crusade is tentatively named Luoying Project. At the same time, I recommend my son Beiyuan to be the commander-in-chief of the empire for this Cherry Blossom Plan, responsible for leading the army to conquer the Cherry Blossom Country. Luoying Project. Empire Commander-in-Chief, Chen Beiyuan. The eyes of everyone present instantly focused on that young figure, and their eyes were full of special charm. There is scrutiny, there is contempt, there is playfulness, there is complexity. Whenever Chen Zhiqing personally leads the army on an expedition, the imperial bosses present may not react much. After all, Chen Zhiqing has been deeply involved in the military world for many years and has led his troops on many expeditions, including many heroic records of destroying countries. Maybe Chen Zhiqing's strength is not the strongest among the older generation of strong men, but his military skills are absolutely top-notch. Once he is allowed to lead an elite army, hide in the army, and form a military formation, even an ordinary 8th-grade war emperor will find it difficult to defeat him. Father Chen's most powerful achievement was when he led the Chun family's elite cavalry to encircle and suppress a foreign dynasty. Without top-notch combat power, he relied on the power of the military formation to gather his military soul and defeat him. Rank 8, the Alien King, finally forced him back and successfully destroyed the entire alien dynasty. After this battle, Chen Zhiqing became famous and officially took over the position of his father Chen Shanha and became the leader of the imperial military. This is the reason why Ito Ryu did not regard Chen Zhiqing as an assassination target before. Chen Zhiqing has always been in the third theater of the empire, surrounded by millions of elite troops. Even if the 8th-grade war emperor personally takes action, he may not be able to do anything to him. If the 5 quasi-emperors at that time, Shao Qing, Poison Lady, the ancestor of the Ling family, the Longxin swordsman, and the Fat Pig quasi-emperor, dared to go to the third theater of the empire to attack them, they would probably die miserably and be screwed off directly. The head was hung on the city wall for the whole army to watch. As long as he is allowed to lead the army, no one will dare to underestimate the head of the Qin family. Even the many empire bosses present were convinced by him. But now, an 18-year-old young man is going to lead the army and ride on their head. This immediately made some of the strong men in the empire who held their own seniority frown, and some of them couldn't accept it. Even among the heads of the top aristocratic families sitting at the round table, only the head of the Bai family, Bai Yingyun, looked at Chen Beiyuan with gentle and kind eyes, while most of the others looked at him with some kind of special scrutiny. Among them, Lin Shufeng, the head of the Lin family, looked at him with a look that was not only scrutinizing, but also a bit warm and angry. Facing those pairs of scrutinizing eyes that seemed to contain endless pressure and strange emotions, Chen Beiyuan looked very calm and composed, not affected at all, and there was no wave on his face. Anyone else would have shown a guilty conscience under the gaze of the empire's top bosses, but Chen Beiyuan completely ignored it. Such a strong character surprised many people and nodded secretly. Those who feel thunder in their hearts and faces like a flat lake can worship the general. Regardless of whether Chen Beiyuan was feeling troubled or not, his expression did not change at all, and he already had the abilities that a commander should have. But what they didn't know was that the reason why Chen Beiyuan was so calm was because of his strength. It is not an exaggeration to say that his current normal strength is the best among the 8th grade war emperors, already initially possessing the ability to lift tables. Ahem, cough, cough. To be fair, young people should always be given some opportunities to try. Bai Yun, the head of the Bai family, coughed deliberately, looking like a good old man. But before he could finish speaking, Qin Yueshan, the head of the Qin family, the Minister of Official Affairs on the side, interrupted him instantly. Wait a minute, I feel something is wrong. My nephew, Beiyuan, it's not that I have any objections to you. In fact, the expedition is a big deal and involves too many aspects. Your talent is extraordinary and everyone can see it. But it's still a little bit worse. Since your father is unwilling to lead the army, it is better to let brother Su Feng lead the army. My nephew Beiyuan will first act as his deputy and be skilled in military affairs. The Qin family and the Lin family are in-laws, and they have a very close relationship. It is normal for Qin Yueshan to speak for the Lin family at this time. Perhaps it was Qin Yueshan who spoke, and the other heads of the top aristocratic families also spoke one after another. However, to everyone's surprise, they all said they opposed sending troops. It's not right, it's not right. After all, Beiyuan's nephew is now intact, and nothing serious has happened. He just goes out to attack the entire Sakura country at will. I'm afraid it's wrong. I suggest unilaterally condemning the Sakura country and asking them to hand over find the person behind the scenes. After all, Sakura country is a member of the Human Race Alliance. It is indeed not good to conquer them at will. Brother Ye's proposal just now is not bad. Why not issue a diplomatic condemnation and let them make corresponding compensation? You have to be merciful and merciful. After all, the Donghua Empire is the top power in the human race. It still needs to maintain its face. It is hard to imagine that the heads of these top families in the Donghua Empire are actually starting to defend their Sakura kingdom and oppose sending troops, as if they are receiving the benefits of the Sakura kingdom. But is this really possible? Haha, if the Sakura kingdom can bribe so many high-level officials of the empire, then what's the point? You're all a 1,000-year-old fox. Why are you pretending to be a fairy tale? Chen Beiyuan sneered in his heart, seeing through the tricks of these old foxes at a glance. In the final analysis, it is interests that are to blame. As the saying goes, success does not have to be mine. Success must be mine. Success without me would be fruitless. No one was around when I was working, but when I was dividing the cake, everyone showed up. Your Donghua Chen family wants to send troops to conquer the Sakura kingdom? No problem at all. I will definitely support you. But we have to get a share of it no matter what. What? No. Then don't blame us for holding back. We may not succeed enough, but we may fail more than enough. What I can't get, no one else can have. You want to go to war? Then I will firmly oppose it. For these aristocratic families, face is illusory and interests are real. When it comes to matters of interest, neither the emperor nor the old man can help. Seeing these old foxes starting to act like monsters and chirping, Father Chen frowned, his face turned cold, and he was about to speak to protect his son. But Chen Beiyuan suddenly grabbed his hand, shook his head at his father, and motioned for him to come. Some things have to be faced by him after all. Elders, can you listen to what Beiyuan has to say? Chen Beiyuan looked at the people in front of him and spoke slowly, directly interrupting the quarrel of the old foxes in front of him, instantly making the atmosphere calm down again. In an instant, everyone present focused their attention on him. I saw him looking around, looking at the faces of old foxes in front of him. The smile on his face gradually disappeared, and his tone became cold and domineering. The leader of this expedition can only be my Chen family, and it can only be me, Chen Beiyuan. Whenever someone wants to win the leadership, I, Chen Beiyuan, will accompany him to the end and fight with him first. Whether the Donghua Empire supports it or not, the Chen family of Sakura country is determined to take it, and no one can keep it. Chen Beiyuan has no intention of giving any face to the top bosses of the empire in front of him. He personally laid the plan, and now it's time to close the net. Since the Donghua Chen family can't eat all of it, out of practicality and not wanting to waste it, I invite you to come over and share some meat, which can be regarded as making friends with each other. But this doesn't mean you can push yourself further. You can show off your face. Do you really think that without the butcher, you won't be able to eat meat? People who want to eat meat. There are many. Seeing that Chen Beiyuan, a junior, was so domineering and showed no respect for the elders, some of the old men present were almost furious. Even the senior officials of the peripheral great emperor countries frowned, seeming a little disgusted. In the past, when everyone held meetings, most of them maintained their own identity and rarely spoke too fiercely, overbearingly, and without mercy. After all, hello everyone. Sometimes, it's better to try not to hurt the harmony. But Chen Beiyuan obviously had no worries at all. Just come up and fire right away. Opening and closing your mouth is just an act. After all, he is young and energetic and does not know how to restrain his sharp edges. The head of the Qin family, Qin Yueshan, looked a little ugly at the moment. Chen Beiyuan's words just now made it clear to him that the Qin family and the Lin family were different. On the other hand, the head of the Lin family, Lin Shufeng, had a calm expression, without any anger at all. Instead, he looked at Chen Beiyuan in front of him with interest. The seemingly cold face of His Majesty the Emperor, who was sitting at the head of the table, suddenly became more smiley. His seemingly cold eyes looked around, seeming to be somewhat satisfied. It's great to be young and energetic. It's great to be young and energetic. If the people below start to fight, how can he, as the emperor, mediate the situation? After seeing Chen Beiyuan's domineering remarks, many top prodigies who were watching from the outside were filled with admiration and sneers. The top empire bosses present cover almost all aspects and fields of the entire Donghua Empire. Once they form enemies, life for the Qin family will probably be difficult. Although I can't defeat you openly, it's okay to use a little stumbling block in secret. Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua also noticed the solemn atmosphere at the scene, and a trace of worry appeared on their faces. However, they all know that Beiyuan is not an unwise character. Although he can be domineering at times, he is not a fool. Snort. With a look from Qin Yueshan, Zhang Xiao, the deputy minister of the Ministry of Personnel, who was in the second row behind him, snorted coldly, slapped the table, stood up suddenly, and was ready to make trouble. Young man, don't be too arrogant. Since the uncles are not interested in the Chen family's strategic military dispatch this time, the Chen family will find other partners. This time the Chen family will send troops to the Sakura country. They only need the Jingu family and the Ito family, and the other families will serve as corresponding rewards. If anyone is interested, you can work together. You must also know that those who cooperate with my Chen family almost never suffer a loss. Chen Beiyuan didn't even look at Zhang Xiao, the deputy minister of the Ministry of Personnel, who was making the accusation. He bypassed the heads of the top aristocratic families in his eyes and looked directly at the spokespersons of the other small and medium-sized aristocratic families behind him and offered a generous price. Normally, any great benefits of the Donghua Empire are almost always divided up by the top aristocratic families first, and the rest of the residue goes to the small and medium-sized aristocratic families below. But now, these top aristocratic families are beginning to want to maintain their own identity and get more benefits, and Chen Beiyuan is not used to it. Substitute. That's it. In Donghua Empire, the most indispensable thing is people. If you're not interested, then change someone else. Sakura country. I'm done. Jesus couldn't keep it. I'm telling you. Hiss. The expressions of the heads of several top aristocratic families changed slightly. The spokesmen of various major, medium, and small aristocratic families who were preparing to watch the show were suddenly startled and immediately overjoyed, as if they had been hit by a huge pie. They usually eat other people's leftovers, but now they have a chance to have a real meal. Zhang Xiao, the deputy minister of the Ministry of Personnel, stood up and started to attack, with a trace of uncontrollable surprise on his face. Isn't this the family behind him? Bang! The minister of the Ministry of Personnel and the head of the Qin family suddenly slammed the table, pointed at Zhang Xiao, the deputy minister of the Ministry of Personnel, and cursed angrily. Zhang Xiao, sit down. What do you know? If young people are not energetic, they are still young people. Only when young people are energetic can the empire have hope, and only then can the future have a broader future. The empire has been in a state of decline over the past few years. Wouldn't it be nice to have more new energy? Nephew of Beiyuan, Uncle Qin just joked with you. You lead the army. Don't worry, Uncle Qin. If you want to lead the army and go on an expedition, I, the Qin family, will definitely support you. At this moment, Qin Yueshan no longer had the ugly expression on his face. A kind smile suddenly appeared on his face, looking like an amiable elder. Ha ha, Beiyuan's nephew. I have been friends with your father for decades. We are our own people. If you want to take charge of the army and go on an expedition, my Yi family will naturally do my part and will definitely help you. Who doesn't know that all the top families in the Donghua Empire are on the same side, and even the broken bones are still connected? If the Chun family really wants to send troops, I, the Chu family, will definitely help. Nephew of Beiyuan, I have seen you being friendly since I was a child. I have known for a long time that you are extraordinary and a natural-born general. It was just a joke just now. I, the Wei family, can rest assured that you are leading the army. The tiger father has no sons, and Beiyuan's nephew is young and energetic. His momentum is overwhelming. He knows at a glance that he is going to do something big. He is much better than the B***************** D from my Wang family. The B*********** D Dao Xian still respected you in the Void Temple. It's a favor, don't worry, my Wang family always repays kindness, and I will support you this time. The old foxes, who had been opposing just now, all performed a face-changing skill at this moment, as if they expressed their support and at the same time praised Chen Beiyuan. Now that the Chun family has thrown away all the meat, how can they let the little ones below take advantage? For these aristocratic families, interests are always higher than face. Previously, the Chen family kept silent about their interests and only talked about military affairs. They would definitely oppose it. Now that we start to divide the meat, it will naturally be different. How can you give up money just because of your dignity? Make money, don't shiver. You see, the Qin family and the Lin family are still in-laws. At this moment, Qin Shuangwen didn't pay any attention to the feelings of his in-laws. In the face of interests, the in-laws are useless. I heard that the Fukada family in Sakura country is the best at raising ghosts, gods and evil beasts. Their ancestor even raised a rank 8 ghost and god. It's interesting. I want it from the Bai family. The Fujiki family in Sakura country seems to have the bloodline and inheritance of a certain great monster, and its ancestor can freely manifest the demon body. My Lin family is interested, so it belongs to my Lin family. I, the Qin family, are not greedy. I heard that the women in the Yukino family are all top-notch enchantresses, Ding Lu, and they are bringing disaster to the country and the people. So, my Qin family was implicated and accepted those evildoers to eliminate harm for the people. The Weno family, my Wei family, wants it. The Sanshang family belongs to my old Zhu family. In an instant, the entire Sakura kingdom's upper echelon of powerful families with 8 Grade War emperors suppressing luck and containing countless treasures, secret realms, industries, resources, etc. were almost all verbally divided up by top families like the Donghua Empire. Clean, with only some broth left. In this world, the fastest way to make money is undoubtedly to make war fortune. Although Sakura country is just a border island country, its overall strength and resources can be ranked in the top 10 among the great emperor countries of the human race. However, in the eyes of the top aristocratic families in the Donghua Empire, those people from the Sakura country were just fat and oily pigs that could only be slaughtered and eaten with a butcher's knife. Once we really send troops, attacking Sakura country, confiscating homes, and annihilating clans will be considered trivial. You must know that Sakura Kingdom and Donghua Empire have a grudge. In the past, the Empire had always wanted to deal with them, but due to some reasons, they did not actually take action in the end. Now that the Chun family is taking the lead, the big guys will naturally not be polite. We need to teach them how to behave in a matter of minutes. However, I don't know whether it was intentional or accidental. When the top families divided the entire upper-class families of Sakura Kingdom, they seemed to have forgotten to leave a portion for the big brother, the imperial family, and almost all of them were eaten. And as the big brother, the royal family obviously cannot compete with the small and medium-sized aristocratic families below for the leftover broth. Everyone, Beiyuan once read the history books of the Donghua Empire and found that the Sakura Kingdom was once one of the inalienable territories of the Donghua Empire. It was only later that for some reasons, some Sakura people betrayed their ancestry and forgot their master. It turned out that they were once part of the Donghua Empire and actually took the initiative to break away. The reason why Sakura country has been returning to the embrace of the Donghua Empire over the years is because of certain people who are causing trouble. Today, all the wealth of the entire Sakura country is gathered in the top families. The people of Sakura country are in dire straits, and it is the time when they need to be liberated. Therefore, our dispatch of troops this time is not an act of aggression. On the contrary, we are an army of justice, an army of kings, and we are practicing enlightenment. Our main strategic goal is to wipe out all the upper-class families in Sakura country. Those people are the source of all evil. Over the years, the people of Sakura country have been in dire straits because of them. As long as they are solved, Sakura country will return to the embrace of the empire. Chen Beiyuan looked upright, looked around, and said righteously, "Just now, the empire's fleet group has surrounded the waters of Sakura Kingdom, ensuring that not even a fly can escape. The Donghua Empire will never allow division. The return of the Sakura Kingdom is inevitable and necessary. Whoever dares to block the unification of the empire is an enemy of the empire and an enemy of me, Chen Beiyuan. I, Chen Beiyuan, will kill him first to sacrifice the flag. What we pay attention to when doing things is to be honest and upright, and what we talk about is righteousness. This expedition is both revenge and reunification. Even the human race alliance has no right to interfere." Okay, my nephew really cares about the empire and is a pillar of the empire. I support you. I originally thought that Beiyuan's nephew was planning to destroy the country. I didn't expect Beiyuan's nephew to be so kind. He only planned to kill 1.8 million people. He really has the heart of a bodhisattva. Nephew of Beiyuan, Sakura people are really lucky to have met you. They were all going to die, but now they can live for the most part. Nephew Beiyuan, I think after the Sakura kingdom is taken back, your marriage to Ruobing can be settled." At this moment, all the empire bosses present naturally did not hesitate to praise him, and almost lifted Chen Beiyuan to the sky. This world is such a reality. As long as you can bring benefits, then you will be surrounded by good people and smiling faces. Nowadays, everyone knows that if you hang out with the Chen family, you will get meat to eat, so I will definitely play with you. Seeing that his precious son took control of the situation so easily resolved the conflicts between all parties, and used benefits and inducements to his own advantage. Father Chen also had a slightly more pleased smile on his face. Jianghu is not about fighting and killing, it is about human relations. Before you are not strong enough to conquer everything, you still need to win over people's hearts. Don't you see? The big brother of the royal family seems to be awesome and coaxing, but he is often attacked by a group of younger brothers below. Although Beiyuan is young, he is not as immature as imagined in terms of tactics and tactics. Seeing Chen Beiyuan scolding Fang Qiu while talking and laughing, pointing out the situation, easily controlling the situation, and becoming the focus of countless people, Bai Ruowei and others also showed expressions of joy and pride on their faces, quite as proud as a grown-up son. "Your Majesty, what do you think?" Chen Beiyuan turned to look at His Majesty the Emperor, who said nothing, with a humble smile on his face. As soon as he finished speaking, there was an instant response. "Your Majesty, this is a good thing for the empire. Your Majesty, the unification of the empire cannot be delayed without delay. Your Majesty, the people of Sakura country are in dire straits. It's up to us to rescue them. Your Majesty, we must prioritize the great cause of the empire and expand our territory without delay." His Majesty the Emperor looked at the young and handsome face in front of him, and then at the eager faces looking at him in the entire conference room. His cold face seemed to be twitching, and there seemed to be endless anger burning in his heart. Bullshit unification and bullshit empire are ultimately not meant to benefit themselves. Everyone has been divided, but the royal family, the Jiang family, didn't get any benefits, so why do they have the nerve to say anything? One by one, they are leaving this harem. Nowadays, the desires of everyone have been aroused by Chen Beiyuan. If the royal family blocks it, everyone will be offended in an instant. However, considering that the Sakura kingdom has really returned to the empire, and after reunification, while all the upper-class families are under strangulation, the imperial family can just send someone to take over the land and use it for their own use. His Majesty the Emperor became angry, his thin lips parted slightly, and his voice was majestic. Yes, Your Majesty is wise. Your Majesty is wise. Your Majesty is wise. In an instant, the imperial bosses present beamed with joy and held their hands in celebration, seeming to be happy for the great cause of the empire. As for a certain big brother who seemed to be in a bad mood, that was none of their business. However, at this moment, Chen Beiyuan seemed to vaguely see the emperor's thoughts. There seemed to be a strange smile on the corner of his mouth, and he continued, "Your Majesty, there have been many traitors in the Sakura kingdom within the empire this time. Among them, many students from Donghua Academy and collateral descendants of various families are involved. Beiyuan hopes to get their heads before the expedition. Come and honor the dragon flag of the empire. Now that a war is about to begin, some of the guys who were retained before should also be cleared out together. Tomorrow, the war will begin directly."
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.